Okay, so I'm keeping with my Thanksgiving Turkey Day theme here with my other Mr. Gobbles. Probably wonder why I have so many turkeys, but there's a lot of turkeys around this house. So tomorrow we have a quiz on graphing linear inequalities. So these are examples of what you're going to see on your quiz tomorrow. So you might want to pause the video at this point and attempt these two problems on your own, and then come back and check and see how you did. So if we look at this first one, let's see, where's that? Oops, some ink. All right, so if we look at this first one, okay, so we look at this equation right here, and oops, so there's my y, and then we have our m, x, and then our b. And we can see that there's nothing in the b, the y-intercept, so that must be that it is 0. Then we graph the slope, which is -3, or you can think about it as -3/1. So go down 1, 2, 3, and write a +1. And then we look up here to see whether we're going to draw a dashed or a solid line. There's no equals to here, so that means we draw a dashed line. So let me come down here, and that's not what I want. A line, and I want my dashed line, and then we'll draw one through here. Okay, so then we want to decide, do I shade the right side or the left side? In this case, I can't pick 0, 0 because it's part of this dotted line and it's not included in it. So I want to pick a point that's not on there. So I could pick this point right here, which is 0.2, 2. So I'm going to go up to my equation here, and I'm going to plug in 2 for y, and then 2 for x. So I replace the y with 2 and the x with 2. So if 2 is less than -3 times 2, which is 2 is less than -6, and that is false. 2 is not smaller than -6. That means these points are false, therefore these points are true. So we'll shade those in. Okay, going to my next one, you're going to have to be able to take standard form and put it into slope-intercept form. So we have to get the y by itself. So first thing I'm going to do is subtract the 2x and then bring that -2x over here. So I'm going to rewrite it. 3y is less than, and I like to rewrite it so that the slope is first. It doesn't really, you could keep it 9 minus 2x, but I like it in the standard form. And then the last thing we need to do is get that y by itself. That's 3 times y, so I'm going to divide by 3 here, but then I must also divide by 3 here and by 3 here. So those 3's, 3 divided by 3 is 1y, or we'll just put y is less than. We have -2/3, that can't reduce, so I'm going to just leave it -2/3x plus 9 divided by 3, which is 3. Okay, so we're going to start graphing here. My y-intercept is at 3, so I'll put a point here. My slope says down 2, right +3, so we'll go down 2, right 3. I don't see an equals to sign here, so again, that's going to tell me that I need a dashed line. So I'm going to get my dashed line out here and draw it through here, or dotted, however you want to call it. And then we have to decide, do I shade the top part or the bottom part? The easiest test point is 0, 0. So I'm going to plug that in. 0 for y, -2/3 times 0 plus 3. So it's going to give me 0 is less than, this becomes 0 plus 3, or 3. Is 0 less than 3? Yep. So that means all the points on this same side of 0, 0 are true as well. So hopefully you did that well. Okay, and then we're just going to do 2 more sample problems. Again, you might want to pause the video, attempt these 2 problems on your own, and then come back and see how you did. Okay, we're going to have one like this. This is in standard form. Again, I need to get that y by itself. So I'm going to, like this, to back off. All right, so we're going to subtract y here, or x here, and put it over here. So I'm going to rewrite that, and this is the biggest part. Don't forget that's minus y. So we have minus y is greater than or equal to, and again, I like to rewrite this x front because I just like it in the same form always. You could leave it this way if you like. So again, the problem is this is negative 1y, and it has to be a positive 1. So we can either multiply through by negative 1, or I can divide by through negative 1. The result is the same. Okay, so a negative divided by negative gives me a positive. I divided through by negative, so don't forget the flip. I change that to less than. Negative over negative is going to be a positive x, and negative over negative is going to be a plus 5. Now I'm ready to graph this like normal. Y-intercept is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slope, remember there's a 1 in front of there, so it's 1. Rise 1, run 1. I'm going to look at my sign. That's an equals to sign, so that tells me that I need a solid line. So I'm going to draw a solid line through there. Okay. And then again, I want a test point. 0 is the easiest one. So if I plug in 0 here, 1 times 0 plus 5. So it gives me 0 is less than, that's 0 plus 5. So that would give me 0 is less than or equal to 5. And that's a true statement. So these must be true. So we'll shade. Biggest thing is to remember, always remember that solid or dashed. If it's got a line here, it's solid. If it doesn't, it's dashed. And then also anytime you see that minus y, that should tell you that you're going to have to do some flipping around. All right, the last one is an equation. Write an equation for the situation. We're taking a class trip with a maximum of 54 students. So that's going to be 54 or less, right? A car can hold 4 people. A minivan can hold 7. So we have a car can hold 4 and a minivan can hold 7. How many cars and minivans are needed? So I might say x equals cars and y equals minivans. So I know that 4 people can be in one car, and I know that, oops, not 6, I was going to say 6, not 6 people. Let's say, try that again. 7 people, oops, to a minivan, so that's minivans. And it says a maximum of 54 students. So I'm going to have 54 students or less. So that should be less than or equal to 54. This one I always do, like when it says maximum of 54, I just take a think, okay, that means 54 or less. So that's less than or equal to 54. And then this would be my answer right here. So hopefully we'll have all A's on tomorrow's quizzes. If you have any questions about any of these problems, we'll talk about them before the quiz tomorrow. And I hope you have a great evening. Looking forward to that turkey day. 8 days away, gobble gobble.